Friends, welcome to Page Object Model Session 2. This is Haradhan once again. Today in this session you can learn how we can actually implement Page Object Model and how we can add assertion to verify the expected and the actual result in the test steps. Thank you all for watching my videos. In case you are enjoying my videos and learning automation testing and Java, please do like and share my videos. Do not forget to subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you will get notification as and when I will upload any new videos. Do not forget to provide your valuable comment for any input or suggestion. Stay tuned for my next video. So this session is a continuation of session 1, right, where we have created the Maven project, right, framework design using POM, and where under the SRC main Java folder we have created 4 different packages. One is base packages, one is listeners, one is pages, one is utilities, and in the SRC test Java folder we have created packages called test cases, where we have created the class, right, for test Facebook page, home page. And in the SRC test resources we have created 4 different packages. One is called executables, where we have, right, put the Chrome drivers and GCodriver exe. If you want to deal with IE driver, so you can also place the IE driver here. And there is another 3 folder we have created in the last session. One is log, and one properties, and one is the test data. And in the properties file we already made created file called config.properties. So this is the config.properties file, right? So in the config.properties file we already setting the browsers, which browser you want to execute the test case, or also the URL. Also if you want to give some implicit timeout while loading the web page, right? And in the test base class we have created a constructor where based on the config file we are reading all the details from the config file, right, and we are loading all the properties. And after that, in case that we are checking in case browser is equal to Firefox, we are setting the properties from the Firefox browsers, and we are also initializing the Firefox drivers. Then in case the browser is equal to Chrome, then we are setting the properties from the Chrome driver, and we are trying to open the Chrome browsers. Then from the configuration files, right, config.properties file, we are also getting the URL where we are trying to load the URL. We are maximizing the page, and we are waiting for some implicit timeout whatever given in the config file. And also we have created another method for closing the browsers, right? And then this base class, right, for each and every web pages, right, we have created the page. So now we have only we are want to test only the Facebook homepage. So that is the reasons, right, we already created a class called Facebook homepage in the com.form.pages packages, right? So that that class we are extending the test base class because I want to get all the details from the test base class, right? I want to launch the browsers based on the config parameters. I want to load the URLs. I want to add some implicit type of timeout. I want to maximize the browser. So that is the reason I am extending that particular class, right, to the Facebook homepage class, whatever I have created in the pages packages, right, com.form.packages. And here we want to perform operations. I want to enter emails. We will be entering password, and after that we want to click logins, right? So we have created 3 more functions, right, for emails, password, and sign in. Entering email, entering password, sign in, where we are hard coded, right, the the element locator by.emails and by.password, and also we have also hard coded the input field, right? Okay, so we have hard coded everything. And in the test cases packages we have created a class, right, Facebook page, where we have written the method called test Facebook homepage, and where we are creating the object from the Facebook homepage. Then we are calling first the test base methods, then we are calling enter email method, enter password methods, and then clicking on the sign in. After that we are quitting the browser. So we did not verify anything, right? So we did not verify anything that whether after entering something, okay, right, after entering some value here in the ID password field, after clicking on the login button, whether some error message is coming or whether, right, that error message is matching with the expected one, right. We did not given any assertion point. Also we have hard coded, right, the ID field and also the value. Now let's comment out all these line of code, right, and here now we will use the page object models implementation, right. We will try to implement page object model. So instead of hard coding all the properties, the locator ID password, will be using the page object models design pattern, where we will identify, right, the element through different properties. We will use by keyword, right. So first we need to identify email field, right. So I already, you can see here by dot email ID, right. So I will simply use by locators here, then I will give some variables name for the email field, right. So email, and I can use text, right, because it is text field. So that is the variable I am declaring, use the by, and then I will identify with the help of by dot, I need to give equal to sign, right. So that is the variable I am declaring, and I want to get the variable with the help of by dot ID properties, you can see, and here ID I will simply give it, right, email, right, and I need to end with colon. Similarly for the password field also, right, I will use email text, instead of that I will use password text, and I also identify with the help of ID for the password field, it is pass, right. Now I will also create an variables for or element, sorry, for element for the sign in button. So I will be using same syntax by, right, sign in button. So you need to create the element in such a fashion that you can, after suppose some time or other testers need to update the script, they can easily identify, right. So for button I will mention the button in the last, for text field I will mention, for radio button I can mention radio button or R button, right. For drop down I can mention the field name, and that there is text will be drop down like that. So by sign in button I want to identify with the help of XPath, so by dot XPath, and I will simply give the XPath whatever we have created to identify the sign in button. So here you can see we already change everything, right. So in case we need to use the same field multiple time, right, same element multiple time, right. So we will only use the element, right, email text or password text or sign in button, and in case one field, right, properties need to be changed, only we will update here, not in the other method wherever it is using, right. Okay. So here I will be creating method, right. So public void enter email, here I will be changing by dot email ID, I will change it to email text. So that's what I will change it. Okay. Instead of that I will change the element name. Similarly for the password text I will change the element name, right, instead of that part I will update. So what is the advantage? Suppose in case I need to use that element multiple times, so I will simply use that reference, right, password text element reference, okay. And in case email text or password text, right, element locator need to be changed, I will update only in one place, okay. So that is the beauty of page object model implementation. And for the sign in button, simply I will use, instead of by XPath I will just simply change it, and I will just use the, right, element reference, okay. Okay. And here now I don't want to hard code the value, right, for the email ID I don't want to hard code it. So I will pass some parameter here, as it is string, so I will be using string here, and I can use the name of the field, right, it is email or phone number. So I will be using the variable as email or phone, and here instead of hard coding value, right, I will be using that parameter, so that whenever we will be calling in the main methods, we will be entering the value every time, so that instead of hard coding we can, if the same thing I need to test it for 10 times, so I will be hard coding it for 10 times, right. So that is the beauty of this particular field. Similarly for the password field I will also change it to string and password, and here I will be changing, instead of hard coding password, I will be changing it to that particular variable name for the parameter whatever I am passing here, right? So that's why I can completely avoid hard coding of any, right, either element locator or the value, right? Okay. Apart from that, we will create another variables for assertion to verify whether the expected one is matching with the output, actual one, right? So here, after entering any random number in the email and ID field, and after clicking on the sign in button, you can see some error message is coming, right? And we want to verify whether the expected is matching with the actual one, right? So first I need to inspect that, and I need to identify the error message, right? I need to create some XPath or CSS for the error message. So you can see it is expanding a div class, right? So I will try to create a XPath for the error message. So how can I create? The tag name is starting with div, so I will give double slash then div, right? And then here you can see the class name is starting with that word, right? Underscore 9ay7. So I will be using div, and then I am giving third bracket, and then at the rate class equal to, within first quote I am giving it and I am closing the bracket. You can see that element is getting highlighted, right? So that's why I can identify the right error message. Okay, let's try to identify the error message here. So I will create another variables here, right? So another element, right, reference here for the error message, right? So it will be by error message. That is the reference variable, sorry, element I am creating, and I will be try to identify with the help of XPath, and I am giving the XPath reference. Okay, so I already identified 4 element. One is email, right, field, and one other is password, and another is login. And after that, if you give some invalid, so that error message will be coming. As also I captured that error message, right, with the help of class. So I have created an XPath, right? So for verifying the error message, I will create a method here, right? Okay, so let's create a method, okay, for capturing the error message. So I will be creating a method called for capturing error message. So public, okay, then I can give some error message name, right, get error message, and then I will give it in the double bracket. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, so that is the method name I am creating, public get error message, and here I want to return the error message details. So obviously return type will be string, right? Or no need to give return type, just try to see the what will be return type. So driver dot find element, right? And then I will pass the reference here for that particular error message, right? So that's why I can identify the element. So I will be giving the reference. Okay, then I have to use I have to take the error message, right? So I have to use get text dot get text, so that I can get the error message details, right? If I close it, so before giving get text, let's press enter and get text. You can see the get text return type, it is a web element, and return type is string. So I have to declare some variable called string, right? And I am giving the variable name as message, right, equal to, as it is return type is string. So obviously for the method also I need to give the return type as string. Then I need to return the message, right? Then I need to return the message, so that the method will be completely successful and there will be no error message. So you know, whenever you are creating any methods, right, there can be some return type. In case the return type is there, you have to return that, right, message, or you have returned that particular variables. If there is no return type, you can simply use SYSO, and return type will be void, right? And is here also definitely return the message, and also if you want to print the message, so you can print it out, right? So I will also print the message here. So 4 method I have created here in the right class levels. sorry, in the page level classes, right? Facebook homepage. For the homepage, so I want to perform these operations. Okay, I want to add email ID, I want to enter password. After that, I need to click on the login. Obviously, my email ID and password is there is no existence in the Facebook, so obviously some error message will be there. So I have created a method for capturing the error message, right? Where also I will print the error message details. So here you can see that it will give you the return type, right? It will return you the message with string type. So this is the 4 method I have created here in that particular Facebook home page, right? Because that page labels I have declared everything, right? I have created the element reference with the help of different attribute, element locator attribute, and we are using that reference only instead of hard coded value. And whatever method also created, we are just want to pass something, right, instead of hard coded. Oh, okay. So it's done. Now I want to write in the test case level, I want to change it. So let's comment it out, this line of code. Okay, because this will be, maybe this can be used somewhere, so I will be commenting out the code. So first one is that after creating the object, I need to call the first method, right? First method will be test base method, so that it will be setting me the properties for the browser, right? And the browser will be called and URL will be launched and it will be maximized and it will wait for some times, right? Implicit time whatever I have given. So I will be using object dot test base, first one. After that, once the page is loaded, right, then I will be calling the enter emails, right? So enter emails, and here you can see as we have, right, created the method where we will be passing some parameters and that parameter will be giving as send key. So we need to add some values here, right? So I will be adding some value. Suppose test, sorry, username. Instead of hard coded, I can change it here. Username 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Anything I can give it, right? After that, I will enter some password. So object dot enter password. I can enter any password. Password 1, 2, 3 like that. I can enter any password. After that, I need to click on the sign in button. So I will be using object dot click sign in, right? Click sign in, so that my page is launching, right? Then enter ID, email ID is entering email. I am entering the emails as it is a, right? I have created a method where I am providing some input. So that is the reason in the main, in the test case, I have to given my the username and password, right? As it is not hard coded in the home page class. So in the test case level, I am changing it. So this is not hard coded. Every time, in case I want to call it, I can change it, right? Anything. Previously it was hard coded, right? I can't change any value because it was taking the hard coded value. But right now it is not taking from the hard coded value. I have passed some parameters, right? Which is data type is string and this is the variable name, and here I am entering something. After that, also I want to verify whether my expected result is matching with the actual result, right? So first I will be calling that method, right? So I will be calling that method object dot get error message, right? You can see return type is string, so I will be storing in some string. Okay, so giving the string as string equal to, okay, login error, login error message variables. So you can see error message, sorry, string, there will be no equal sign, string, this is the variable name. After that, I want to validate, right, whether the error message whatever is coming, it is matching with that error message or not, right? So I can store it into the error, another variable, right? Suppose I am storing it, suppose in another variable called string, right, expected error, okay, expected error, that variable I am storing that error message. So that error message should actually come. Complete error message, oh, sorry, let's copy paste, copy this thing, and I want to error message I'll be storing here. Sign up for the account, still account, right? And I am closing with semicolon. Okay, so you can see it's gone, right? Now you know in the TestNG there is a assertion class, right? Okay, I can use hard assertion, I can use soft assertion. So here I will use the hard assertion. So I will be using assert dot. If you press assert and then dot, there will be all list of method will be there, right? I want to check assert and assert equal. So this is my expected. So this is my actual. So I need to give the actual what is coming, and then I need to give the expected one, right, as in the argument, right? Then after that verify is done, then I will be closing the browser, object dot, right, close browser. So that's way, right, I am creating the test case. Okay, so in the base package I am not changing anything right now, but I want to implement, right, the page object model concept, and also I want to add assertion points, so that I want to verify expected result with the actual result. So here after entering some random ID and password, so this is my expectation, right, that error message should come. Okay, so here in the Facebook homepage, right, I have created 4 different methods, right? Before creating the method I have tried to get all the properties, like whether it's ID, what is the ID for the relevant field, and with the help of by, right, that by locators, right, I am tried to save all the element locator reference into that variables. After that I am creating method in such a fashion that we are just calling those element web element reference instead of the hard coded value, right, element locator value. Okay, so in case this particular field need to be used multiple times, we will simply use that particular reference instead of that particular word. And now say now ID email is no longer visible. Suppose I need to change with name equal to email, so simply I will change here name equal to email, name email. So it will be updated in all the places wherever that reference will be called, right? And here instead of hard coded method I am providing some reference. I want to pass the reference, and that reference will be entered in the email and password fields, right? Then I will be clicking the sign in button. After that definitely some error message will be coming, right? So I will be creating method where I will be capturing the error message, right? So I have created a variable called message where I am getting the text of the error message, and also I am printing the error message and returning the error message. So that are the 4 different method I have written in the home page class at the pages level. Now in the test case level I already created the object or instance for the home page class. Then with the reference of that object I want to check whether what is the browser reference is already given here, what is the URL, what is the implicit type. So I will be calling that particular, right, test based method from the base class, test based class. Then I am also calling the enter emails method where I will be entering some value, random value for the username and password field. After that I am clicking on the sign in button. So after that some error message will be coming, right, definitely. So that expected error message I am storing in the some string. So that is my expectation, right? So that is my expectation. Okay, I am storing in some string, and whatever actual thing will be coming, so I will be calling that methods whatever I have written here for capturing the error message, and I am storing in another variable called login error message, and that is my expected error. After that, you know, right, assert is the hard assertion in TestNG available, and assert equal is the method where I am just checking with the actual with the expected one, right? In case it is matching, so test case will be passed. And also as I am calling the method here, right, so obviously output will be there for that particular message. So error message will be also there in the as part of output in my console, right? So obviously now test case should be passed. So if I want to give some output here, right, also I can give it, or maybe if you want to give some message here, you can also give it, right, here. So you can give some message, right, error message should be matched, okay, so that in case it is matching it will, in case it is not matching, it will give you. Okay, and after that I am closing the browsers. Okay, here it will match, so it will not give anything. Error message should not be matched. So in case it is not matching, it will give you some error message, that particular message. Okay, and after that I am closing the browser. So let's run the code and let's see what how the test case is working. Right now I have implemented the page object model technique, right, page object model design pattern technique, and also I have created the method where I am, instead of hard coding, I am passing some reference for each and every field, right, at input field, and also I am capturing the error message. For I have created the method for capturing the error message, which I am returning something, and I am calling it, and I am also given the expected error message. So I also want to check it with the help of assert, right, class available in the TestNG, and assert equals methods available in the assert class. After that I am quitting the browser. So let's run it and let's see. So first it will try to get the browser based on the config properties file. So you have given the as Chrome, so it will launch the Chrome browsers, right, it will maximize the browsers, it will load the Facebook page. After that it will enter the email ID password and click on the login button, right, and then error message will be thrown. Then it will capture the error message, right, and then it will try to validate with the assert method with the expected actual result. In case it is matched, so it will give you the correct one, right, test case will be passed, and also that error message will be printed out in the console. So we can see test case is fails, right. So what is the reason of failure? Okay, let's find out. Okay, the phone number that you have entered does not match any account, right. Okay, so sign up for an account. Here it is coming as email, right. So that is the reason it is not match. Okay, and that is the reason it is getting failed. Okay, and at the test case level also it's failed, right. And here if you open it, you can see the error message should not be matched because expected read the email address or phone number you have entered does not match here, or but found as this. So it has been changed, right. That is the reason it is not matching. Okay, and if you go down, you can see number of test cases executed 1, failure 1. Okay, now let's try to enter something where test something like that and password like that something. Okay, and after that with that particular thing I will enter here. Let's see what is the error message with that particular reference, email ID and password. So you can see this is thing is coming for that particular reference. Okay, so I will be changing the user mail enter email field to that one only. Okay, so that error message is coming. The email address or phone number does not have an enter, does not match. Let's close it out and let's see now test case is getting passed or not. So this thing will come, right. Now let's run it and let's see whether the test case is getting passed or not. So whether my assertion is getting matched with the expected one. So it will try to launch the Chrome browsers, it will load the URL for Facebook page, it will enter the email ID and password field whatever we have given here. Okay, and it will click on the sign in button, then it will give you the error message. So now it is getting matched, right. So whatever error message was there, you can get it in the console. So email ID, phone number that you entered does not match with the any account, sign up or sign up for an account. So that is my expectation. So right now it is matching, right. So that is the reasons now it is getting passed, right, and test case is getting passed. Okay, now you can see here test case is getting passed, number failure is 0 and there is no such failure. Okay, now if you refresh the web page, refresh the project, right. So you can see the test output folder also will be refreshed, right. If you click on that result testng result.xml, so you can get the details, right. As you can see here, total number of run is 1, passed is 1, default name, default suit, so that is matching, and right default test, that is the test case name, right, and then package name dot class name is the test name and this is the method name, right. So this is matching, and number of times it took to execute it, total number of durations, right, 18 minutes 8:28 seconds, and status is also passed, right. And here also, now if you click on the emailable report, right, press alt enter so that you can get the path of the emailable report and copy the path and try to open it in the browsers, any of the browsers. Okay, and let's open it and let's see. You can see here, right, details is coming, right. Okay, instead of that, let's select the emailable report HTML and press alt enter and let's take the path. So we'll get the details result. Let's copy the path. You can see the details result. The default test number 1 is passed, right, and this is the method name and this is the package dot test case name, because this is the package is com dot wherever test case was placed, right, com dot pom dot test cases, and the test case class name is test Facebook page, right. You can see it is matching, and this is the method name, right, we are calling it. This is the method name, test Facebook homepage. Okay, and total number of time elapsed time is 18828. You can getting it, right. So that's why, right, with an existing, so in my last session we have tried to implement only, right, we have created the base class, we have created a class for the Facebook homepage. After that we have created a class for creating the test cases, right. So we did not use any by at locator, so here we will be saving all the locators in the class levels. And also we in the last session we have created the class, we have created the methods where everything was hard coded, but now it is not hard coded. Okay, and also we have add some assertion point, so we have created a methods. So now that's why you can create some customized method as well, right, for each and every field if it is required, and obviously you will call it and you will add some assertion as and when required, because main objective is that you have to verify, right, otherwise what is the point? You simply can't execute step by step like that. So for each and every step you have to validate, and in case failure you have to take the screenshot like that, right. Also you can add some loggers, right. Also you have whatever report you are seeing, you need to customize your report, right. And also here we are not hard coding the value, but we are passing through some parameter. But in the coming session you will see how we can get the data from external source called the test data, where I will be creating some excels and will be reading the data from the excels. Okay, so session by session I will try to include one or two more things, and I will try to build the complete framework, right. Okay, with the help of page object model design pattern, right. Okay, so that's all for today's session. Thank you.